husband or do something to have that bed. So, he makes up a story. Nicholas does. Bear with me here. Watch this. Nicholas says, goes to the carpenter, John, and says, I've just seen a vision from God. A terrible flood is coming, greater than the flood that Noah experienced. And the only way to survive this, I have a plan, is when this thing comes, say next week, is to get 3 bathtubs and tie them with ropes from the ceiling, the highest floor of your house. Put all your provisions in there, food, things you may need for a day or two, plus an axe, right? And when the flood comes, because it's coming, really it's not. When the flood comes and the waters rise, you'll be in the bathtub, you take the axe, you cut the ropes, you chop a hole through the ceiling, we float out and we survive. Well, John falls for this. And this is part of Nicholas's plan with Allison to be alone together. All right, so when the night comes, supposedly, they get the bathtubs, 3 of them. They hang them from the ceiling with ropes. And they climb in with their food, their provisions, their drinks, etc., and axes, and they wait for the flood to come, supposedly that night. Well, when it gets dark, Nicholas and Allison sneak out of their tubs, go downstairs, and they go to bed. All right.
Well, they don't go to bed.
Oh, they're in the bed. All right, so here's the deal. Wait. You gotta see this. Wow.
Video.
When I was a young student, I was amazed at this. I'm 50 years old, I'm still amazed by this. So, that night, John, on the 3rd floor, asleep in a bathtub, while his wife and Nicholas are having Netflix and chilling. So, you got that going on. Suddenly, you got a priest named Absalom is also in love with Allison. A priest named Absalom is in love with her. She doesn't care one thing for him. So Absalom has no idea that Nicholas and Allison are together, but he figures John is in there, so he creeps up to her window, which is above ground level. And quietly knocks on the window for Allison to answer. It's very dark. And Allison doesn't know who it is, but when he talks, she goes, oh, that priest. She says, listen, go away. The priest says, if you'll do me a favor, just give me one kiss, and I'll leave you alone. All right, just one kiss is all I want. All right, so, this is translated, it's roughly the same thing. That she, come on and hurry up, for our neighbors see you. So he climbs up this ladder. It's dark, can't see anything. This Absalom, the priest, wiped his mouth dry. He's ready. It's dark. She's going to kiss him out this window. His mouth was very dry. Dark was the night, as pitch or as cold. And at the window, she put out her hold. And Absalom, to him, it appeared no better or worse, but with his mouth he kissed her naked arse. So what she's done, it's pitch black. She's going to play a trick on him. So she sticks her naked rear end out the window, and he goes to kiss her, not seeing what he's kissing. Now, here's what Chaucer writes 700 years ago. But with his mouth he kissed her naked arse, with great relish, before he was aware of this. Back he jumped and thought it was amiss, for well he knew that a woman had no beard.
Oh my God.
He felt the thing all rough and long-haired. And he said, fie, alas, what have I done? Tee, said she, and clapped the window to. So, he realizes what he's kissed. He's not happy with that. He's kicked off. She's laughing at it. And he thinks, fine, by gosh, you want to play that way, then here's what we'll do. He goes to the local blacksmith that happens to be working late. He says, do me a favor. Take this plow, a metal piece, don't you? Make his bed hot. Heat that thing up. I need it. So the blacksmith does what he's supposed to, gives it back to him. He says, fine, by gosh, you want to play that way. So he goes back to her house again.
All the while this carpenter is just
Carpenter is still asleep, waiting for the blood to come on the 3rd floor. Okay? So he goes back to the window. He's hiding this hot poker he's got in his hand, this plow. And this Allison answered, who is there that not so? I swear it is a thief. Why, nay, said he, God knows, my sweet beloved, I am thy Absalom, my darling. Of gold, said he, I brought thee a ring. My mother gave it to me, as God may save me. Very fine it is and nicely engraved. This I will give thee if thou kiss me. So kiss me again, by gosh. I got a ring to give you. He's got that red hot poker this time. All right? Nicholas. Now I'm reading this as it would be in Old English, basically. This Nicholas was risen for to piss. Yeah, SSE. So Nicholas gets up, has to use the bathroom. This is 800 years ago. This is
That the guy sleeping in the tub, Nicholas?
no. This is the young lover who's tricked the husband to sleep with her, right?
I got it.
So he's got to go. He's got to go to the bathroom. So he gets up and thought he would make the joke even better. He should kiss his ass before he escapes. So he is pitch black. Instead of, he says, Allison. He sticks his rear end out the window, his naked rear end, right? He opens up the window, puts out his ass stealthily over the buttock to the thigh, and then spoke this Absalom, speak, sweet bird, I know not where thou art. So Absalom's got that poker, right? And he can't see, so he says, say something, sweetie, I can't see you. This Nicholas immediately let fly a fart, which in Old English, let flee a fart. 700 years later, the word's the exact same. How great is that? So, Nicholas sticks his rear end out the window. Absalom says, I can't see you, where are you? Like a thunderclap. As great as it had been with a thunderbolt, so that he struck, he was almost blinded. He was ready with his hot iron, however, and he smote Nicholas in the middle of his arse. Off goes the skin, a hand's breadth about. The hot plow blade so burned his rump, and for the pain he thought he would die, as if he were crazy. Nicholas began to cry, help, help, water, water. The husband hears that 3 floors up, wakes up, thinks the flood's here, takes his axe, cuts the ropes. The tub falls 3 stories through to the bottom of the house, crushes the thing. The neighbors come running, he goes, flood, flood. They think he's crazy, they take him away. Nicholas and Allison live happily ever after.
Oh,
It's the Hangover circa 1300. This is English lit. So don't think, and Shakespeare does a lot of the same thing. There's a hysterical scene in Hamlet with the word nothing, which, forgive me, I'm not saying this to be crude. Nothing in Shakespeare's time was slang, their word for it, for a woman's genitalia. So when he says, at one point, Hamlet's got Ophelia's head, or Hamlet's got his head in Ophelia's lap, and she says, what are you thinking about? And he goes, nothing. Shakespeare people would have gotten that joke and thought, oh, he's talking about sex. So they did some crazy things back then. That is the Miller's Tale. Now, I want you to notice something. Let's take the farting line, forgive me. Watch. No, back that up. Do me a favor. Take out phone, Chromebook, real fast. Quickly, can you tell me, look up